This is the male penis and testicles.
Welcome back to Super Smash Lesbians, the podcast series that day by day becomes less of a podcast. I'm AJ, and today I will be discussing the Muffin! That's right, this parody series had a movie released back in November 17th, 2020. And just a heads up, Smash Lesbians is all made up by me. I know some people are saying that, oh, where can I find these videos? Well, I'm here to tell you that there are no videos online pertaining to this series. I advise you to watch the channel introductory video to get a better understanding of what Shareverse is and its rules. The movie takes place between seasons 3 and 4. Now, the concept of making a movie has always been on my mind prior to the season 3 finale. It was just a matter of time of when and where would be a good time to shoot it. And even if I did get a mindset on when to air it, another question comes to mind. What would it be about? There were two options that I could take. Either make a film be a recap of the first 3 seasons, or make a new original story featuring new characters. Both were good choices, but each had their own problems. If I made a recap movie, people watch the first 3 seasons instead because they're all on YouTube for free. And making an original story would almost guarantee more permanent members to the show and confuse people who only see the show seeing all these new movie characters. I'm looking at you, Spinal. By the way, I do not watch Steven Universe. I just know all things about Steven Universe because y'all motherfuckers don't stop talking about it. So please stop talking about it because then I get more useless information about a show I do not watch. Anyway, so I was kind of at a loss of what I'm going to do with the movie, and then one night I'm on Discord, and I'm looking at one server and see what everyone else is up to. One person just got their hands on Smash Ultimate. Now, as a reminder, if you get a copy of Smash Ultimate, when you start out, you only get the 8 original fighters from Smash 64. All the other characters have to be unlocked, except for the DLC characters, which this person had. This character roster had 16 fighters, the 8 original characters, and the 8 new characters. And that gave me a bright idea. The movie will be a normal episode of the show, but with a bigger budget, and focusing on those 16 character roles. Now that I had a story somewhat figured out, the next question was, when should I air it? Obviously, it should be between seasons 3 and 4, but when would be a good day? That day would be November 17th. Which was also the same day for the second Kombat pack for Mortal Kombat 11, which also included Melina. So, during the afternoon, while I was taking her to the lab, I realized that this would be great material for Smash Lesbians Ultimate, having her complete her DLC journey while Rex was still on his. That's when my brain clicked and I said, oh god, I can make this movie tonight. Sure, it would be without any warning, but I mean, it could still work. Thankfully, everybody that needed to be in the movie showed up on set that night, and it was pretty much business as usual. The plot of the movie is a tournament being held on the set. But this wasn't any other tournament, it was a tally competition. The contender with the most amount of wins will be the winner. There were 16 contenders. Now, because Smash Lesbians utilized secondary roles, there were the following for the 16 characters. The 5 Marios, 2 Donkey Kongs, 2 Links, 3 Samuses, 3 Yoshis, 1 Kirby, 2 Foxes, 2 Pikachus, 2 Piranha Plants, 1 Joker, Dragon Ball Moms, 1 Banjo and Kazooie pair, 2 Terrys, 2 Byleths, 2 Min-Mins, and the Injustice Bitches. Now that's a lot of character roles, many of whom would dominate the competition just by their numbers. So I decided to put up a restriction. If there are more than 1 characters that share the same role, they will only receive 1 point. This does not exclude other members of the show to participate and help the contenders gain extra points. Let's take Ryuko for example. So Satsuki plays the Marth role. If she wins a match, her point will go to Ryuko and not Mako since the 2 are sisters. However, for somebody like Yan who has no connections to any contender, because she plays the Falco role, her point goes to Ryuko as well. Speaking of roles, neither Rex nor Melina were allowed to participate in the tournament. That's because they were the main focus of the B-plot. As mentioned briefly in the last episode, because of the rules of the DLC crew, Rex had to fight whoever got into MK11 in order to make up the fight that Melina should have attended for one last time. So most of their plot was the inevitable build-up to the fight interspliced with the tournament back at the A-plot. It also should be noted that other characters got some of their own character development. One of the more standout subplots in the A-plot was Ryuko fighting Mai. She looked down at her and said that she was a fraud, but that could also be adjacent to the fact that Mai is friends with Melina, the person that killed Ryuko back in Girl Nights in 2015. Spoiler alert. But by the end of it, Ryuko checks up on Mai after beating the shit out of her, and the two, they kind of make amends. And it's also kind of a reference because both of these women share the same Japanese voice actress. Now, on to the antagonist of the movie. Naturally, somebody like Starla would take the place as the villain, but because she's not a contender for the tournament, she's not going to be around for this film. If anything, Draika would have been Starla's substitute since they're both in the same organization, but we don't have to worry about Draika either, because the final battle of the tournament would be decided on which two contenders had the most points, and Draika was not one of them. However, there was also some tension for the B-plot that could also work for the conclusion. Recall that at the end of Season 3, Violet spiked Ivy hard during the Gotham City Sirens and DLC crew fight. This made Ivy all the more aggressive during the tournament, and not only wanted revenge on the DLC crew, but to me as well. Well, for context, me and Ivy do not mesh well. In 2009, I was in an incident where I had to clean up Gotham because it was being overrun by Ivy and I had to torture up. And it also didn't help that back in the 90s, AJ's alien father killed Ivy's teenage daughter by dropping her 10,000 feet in the air. So not only am I on Ivy's radar, but pretty much my whole bloodline is. Thankfully, Melina was aware of Ivy's plans prior to the production of the film, and she volunteered to fight Ivy after fighting Rex. At the end of the tournament, the Mario and the Banjo-Kazooie roles were tied with the most points. Out of the 5 Marios, Nami offered her position of being the Mario role for the final fight. There was only one Banjo-Kazooie pair, so that wasn't a problem. These roles were portrayed by the duo Ruby and Azura, personas for the DeviantArt users Ali and Joey, which I will send their DeviantArt accounts in the description. These two are no joke. Because of the abilities to take different transformations that they acquired from different universes, it's a long story, Ali and Joey can become the wild cards of abilities. This includes stuff like a Koopa Peach, Samus, giant female cybernetic dragon people. DeviantArt is fucking weird, I think we all know that. But the most dangerous forms that they have is evil Empress Ruler form that everyone just calls Femme Shao Kahn. She claims to be Shao Kahn, and yet she looks nothing like him despite having the same moves and abilities as him. And as for Ali's forms, she splits into 2 anthropomorphic lion servants, 1 tiger and 1 Bengal. Please stick with me, cause shit gets very weird from here. Anyway, these 3 merge into a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, named the motherfucking Demon T-Rex. Yeah, in Shareverse, dinosaurs are satanic creatures that were meant to wipe out God's creations. In fact, the meteor that killed the dinosaurs would later become the flood that Noah and his family survived in the Ark. Look, I was 13 when I came up with this, and I'm sticking with it because it's a fucking dinosaur. Who doesn't want to see a dinosaur go around fucking blowing shit up?
Beep.
It gets even more weirder too. Its first appearance was in 2013, but in 2015, it got a technological upgrade now called the motherfucking Demon Tech Rex. This beast has wings, a Gatling gun, a railgun attached to it, demonic energy blasts. Oh, and did I mention it can regenerate itself after it's killed? It's got that too. So with all of that in mind, how the hell is Nami gonna take this thing down? Well, by 2020, there were numerous ways of killing the motherfucking Demon Tech Rex, with the most common one being to incinerate or evaporate the creature in its entirety so it would have no way of regeneration. Flipping over back to the B-plot, Rex and Melina were just about to have their duel, and much like the fight with Banjo, Rex went all out on his former partner while Melina went easy on him, and it backfired on her. Rex won the fight with no ease, and Ivy was sent to prove herself almost immediately. And because Melina wasn't in the best shape for the fight, she got her ass whipped. Even in her Shining Ray form, she wasn't able to stand a chance. Now, on the other side of the set, yes, there are 2 sets in the Special Lesbians Ultimate building. Nami was doing a good job finding the motherfucking Demon Tech Rex, being able to weaken it before going for the kill. While she almost got eaten, that was part of her plan. Prying its mouth open using her climate baton, and throwing in as many electric charged balls down its throat, and unleashing a thunderbolt tempo, a big one nonetheless, imploding the dinosaur from the inside.
It's official. You suck.
And when Melina saw Nami get her W, she got her second win. Despite the two making their differences up in the Season 2 finale, they're still at each other's throats. And their biggest contribution is they want to outperform one another and making the other look bad. It's just what they do. I don't even try to stop it. So Melina basically said to herself, I'm not going to let Nami look cool. I'm going to show her that I'm the coolest. She got right back up, challenged Ivy to a rematch, and to literally nobody's surprise, she got her ass whipped again. This time, her body being worn off by so many fights that her left arm and right leg began to tear off her body due to the lack of muscles connecting the limbs together. Ivy won this fight and took back her dignity, while Nami celebrated with the other Mario roles about her victory. As for Melina's still-breathing corpse, she was ordered to be on a stretcher from two of the Mario roles. However, when the two weren't looking, Melina got off the stretcher, and Ivy began to feel something burning up right before leaving the building. Almost immediately, Ivy's torso began to cut in half, as well as the appearance of deep cuts near one side of her chest. It was Melina, holding Pyra's Aegis in one hand, and the arm that has her finger glove being held by her barely connected jaw. She somehow limped to get Pyra's Aegis, and hopped her way over to Ivy, cutting her as well as burning her alive. It was such a cool plot twist finale, even though at the end of the day it doesn't matter. Ivy still won the fights, but Melina wanted to get the last laugh. Harley was in shock and began screaming in horror, and then the movie ends. Yep, it just stops right there. It was like 2 a.m. when this happened, and I had an 8:30 class the next morning, so I wanted to wrap up production as quickly as I could. And this was probably the best way to end things, if you ask me. Following the film's release, Season 4 began the following month, and all the conflicts from the film seemed resolved by then. Rex apologized to Melina, Ivy still took back her pride, winning the fight, and everyone began to focus on the next DLC characters and other things. All in all, I think the movie was a success and was probably one of the best parts of directing this Parody series. Now that I'm done with this semester, I want to be more active when it comes to making these videos. Please consider subscribing to receive more content and awareness. Until next time, I'm AJ, and I'll see you all in the next one.